The Honourable Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I contribute to the debate on the national budget, I'd like to take this time to offer my deep commiserations to the family of the late Honourable Solon Mirisim and the people of Telefomin on behalf of the people of Chuave and the opposition. Mr. Speaker, I'll start my debate taking cue from the excellent budget reply by the Shadow Treasurer. And just remind all members of Parliament about the handout that was given and the steep spike that has resulted from 2019 to 2026 in borrowings that has taken the total national debt stock to 65 billion kina. Now, Mr. Speaker, what this means is debt servicing for 2026 in the 2026 budget will be around 5.6 billion kina. That's a combination of interest, which is 3.7 billion kina, and principal repayments of 1.9 billion. That total 5.6 billion kina will take up 18% of the total 2026 budget. And this will have a crowding out effect on essential services like education, Mr. Speaker, law and order, health, and other essential services that our people so depend on. Now, this is a real concern, especially the debt servicing component of interest. From the total 5.6 billion, interest takes up 67% of the total debt servicing requirement in 2026, or 3.7 billion. So for far too long, we have gone on a borrowing spree, Mr. Speaker, and we have become addicted to debt. Now we will pay the price in 2026 going forward, because the lies promulgated by the good, hardworking treasurer, that guy sitting there next to the Bible, has now put the people of Papua New Guinea in a precarious position where we have high interest costs, and this will eat into future budgets, Mr. Speaker. Even with the higher allocations to law and justice, which reflects another failed budget, in 2025 we gave primacy to law and order. We said police will have to be equipped and funded and operational to effectively deal with the law and order challenges of Papua New Guinea. And where has that left us in 2025? Is the country safer than it was in 2024? The stark reality, Mr. Speaker, and the sad reality for the people is no. Death, murder, tribal conflict, gun-related killings, sorcery-related violence have just spiked, and they continue to go unabated. So what has happened to the historic budget that prioritized law and order in 2024 and in 2025, and now we're prioritizing law and order once again? These high allocations, Mr. Speaker, to law and justice, education, health in the 2026 national budget will be affected because of the scale of debt servicing that will compress the fiscal space and put immense pressure and trade-offs that will affect maintenance, operational budgets, provincial support, and overall budget execution. The budget execution in 2025 has been completely deplorable. It has been lackluster, and it just warrants stringent introspection by all these ministers of state. Like my question, Mr. Speaker, in 2025, did the good, hardworking treasurer, that guy sitting over there, did he at once have an in-depth discussion about commerce and investments and economic growth with the good Minister for Commerce and Trade? Did they discuss loans, and did they discuss investments? Did they discuss securities? Did he have a discussion with the good agricultural minister about how to create an agricultural resurgence throughout the country to directly address the youth bulge issue, to give primacy to the provinces give the provinces block grants, and send all the governors and all the members back to their provinces and back to the districts. Now, from what I've seen in this fake budget, Mr. Speaker, none of these issues have been reflected. There has been no primacy given to agriculture, which continues to remain a sleeping giant. We have done nothing to address the bottlenecks, the arrears, the cost overruns that affected the budget last year. We have done nothing to effectively invest into tourism. Yet we come here and continue to spin a fictional riddle that historic budget after historic budget and the government's tracking so well, Mr. Speaker. The debt services component, Mr. Speaker, will affect all other sectors, including infrastructure, yet the Treasurer fails to make any tough decisions about how he will cut spending to effectively deal with the high cost of borrowing and debt servicing that will affect implementation in 2026. So what this means, Mr. Speaker, for all the good members of Parliament on the other side, is that we will continue to have a protracted cash flow crisis that's going to affect implementation of the budget because of the long borrowing that we have undertaken from 2019 to 2026. Nothing will improve in 2026, Mr. Speaker. Now, Mr. Speaker, I am confused at how the good Treasurer has increased the overall size of the budget. The total budget now stands at 30.9 billion, let's say 31 billion kina, when in 2025, according to my info, the Treasurer fell short of revenue collection, Mr. Speaker, by almost 2 billion kina. So the actual spend in 2025 was 27 billion kina, and then in 2026, 1 year later, we're increasing the total fiscal space, the size of the budget, by 4 billion kina, Mr. Speaker, to 31 billion kina. The Treasurer underperformed in revenue collection in 2025, and all of a sudden, he's got a magic wand, and he's going to be able to generate 4 billion kina. This is the same Treasurer doing the same thing. How can the people of Papua New Guinea trust them or have any confidence, Mr. Speaker, in this budget? Based on his deplorable track record, we cannot trust these numbers, Mr. Speaker. And now the heavy reliance that the SOEs will all of a sudden, Mr. Speaker, provide dividends and fund the 2026 revenue. This is just fiction, Mr. Speaker, absolute fiction. Mr. Speaker, we are so concerned about the quality of spend and the cash flow crisis that's continued to affect government services. Because what happens here is amplified in the rural districts, Mr. Speaker. According to IRC, Mr. Speaker, there's been no issues with revenue collection in 2025. From January all the way to December, they've hit over 2.2 billion kina in revenue collection, peaking at almost 3 billion kina in May, Mr. Speaker, to effectively collect all the required tax that the Treasurer needs to effectively meet government expenditure. So how has the Treasurer spent all this money? Because the reality on the ground, Mr. Speaker, is that it has not translated for the people of Papua New Guinea. And we've seen it firsthand. None of the honourable members, Mr. Speaker, can deny that we had a health crisis that just affected the country, with all the PHAs and with all the hospitals saying that there was no medicine. The number of deaths that took place because of this funding shortfall. It's a cash flow crisis. So, Mr. Speaker, I remain incredulous with the voodoo economics applied here by the good Treasurer. And unless this government knuckles down to make some tough decisions to stop selective warranting, that means we have to repeal Section 31 of the Public Finance Management Act. And unless we get serious, Mr. Speaker, about parliamentary oversight and start to enforce Section 3, subsection 2 of the Public Finance Management Act, Mr. Speaker, which requires public expenditure, the Treasurer and the Finance Minister to publish the expenditure and revenues on a quarterly basis. So there's public scrutinies. So all members of Parliament can see how we're tracking and then make the right interventions at that point to correct a failing budget and failing implementation. Now, this level of accountability, good governance, transparency hasn't happened, Mr. Speaker. To sum up, Mr. Speaker, once again, from our own experience in the districts and provinces in Simbu, we see that this government has failed to effectively embrace equity in budget allocation and budget distribution. With too many pie-in-the-sky projects, Mr. Speaker, that will not see the light of day, with too much going to consumption rather than investment, Mr. Speaker, we see that there will be more of the same with the same people doing the same thing again. Now, Mr. Speaker, the good shadow treasurer gave this hardworking treasurer, that guy sitting there, a C minus, Mr. Speaker. But as far as I'm concerned, his failure to enforce equity in budget implementation and appropriation, and his failure to spell the word equity, I would give him an F minus, Mr. Speaker, for a failed budget in 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.